This is State of Michigan versus Matthew Dandrum, case 24058-630. Today is the date set for a bond redetermination hearing. Bond is set intentionally unaffordable. Can I have appearances, please?
Jennifer Douglas for the people, P72748.
Mr. Reagan, you're on mute, I think.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Reagan on behalf of Mr. 57156.
And Mr. Dandrum, sir, could you state your name for the record, please?
Matthew David Dandrum.
All right, thank you, sir. Today is the date set for redetermination hearing. Mr. Reagan as to bond.
As the bond is 50,000 cash as surety. Judge, this is charged to me wrong. I think that, just in talking to Mr. Don and reading the report, Judge, this is simple.
I'm sorry, Mr. Reagan. Mr. Reagan, I'm sorry. You got to stop. I'm hearing about every other word that you say. It's it's cutting up too badly.
Okay. Let me try something, Judge. Can you hear me now? Is that better?
Yep, that's better. Thank you, sir.
Judge, my client's 38 years of age. Judge, this case is simply, in my opinion, a mutual combat situation. When I had an opportunity to talk to Mr. Dandron and read the report, this is a situation where the complaint came up on the short end of the stick, mutual combat situation. My client was in the home, had every right to be in the home because he knew the person that owned the home. The complaining witness was also, I guess, living at the residence, came back, came downstairs, told my client to leave. My client said, I'm not leaving until the party that allowed me to stay here tells me I have to go. At that point, the complaint came at my client. My client simply engaged in combat with the person, and the complainant lost. I mean, that's just kind of what it is.
I'm sorry, Mr. Reagan. Mr. Reagan, stop for a second.
Yeah.
Mr. Dandrum, are you indicating that you can't hear?
No, I'm indicating that I have a huge gash in my jugular from the knife that he hit me with.
Right.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what I'm showing
Sorry
you.
about that.
Yes.
All right, I got it. All right, go ahead, Mr.
Can
Reagan.
you see it? You want to see it?
So
I
Judge,
see it.
and just talking to Mr. Dandron and just kind of reading the initial report and how things happened, it's a mutual combat. My client was attacked first. My client was simply minding his business down in the basement when the complaint came and addressed my client, came at my client because he was mad because my client wouldn't leave. My client had no beef with this person, had no issue with this person. He simply said, I'm not leaving until the lady that invited me here tells me I have to leave. The complainant didn't like it. My client was stabbed. The other, I think there was a struggle over a knife. The other person got cut. But at the end of the day, because my client, is on parole right now, Judge, it's my opinion that's why my client got charged, and the other person didn't. But if my client in no way, shape, or form, to my knowledge, Judge, was the aggressor in this at all. He was simply, minding his business. He was approached. I'm asking for a reduction of bond, Judge.
All right, Miss Douglas as to bond.
Your Honor, I'm going to actually ask for this bond to be increased to 100,000 cash or surety. Mr. Dandron has an extensive criminal history. Here, this is something that happened in the complaining witness's home. This is not Mr. Dandron's home. Your Honor, according to Otis, was designated as a parole absconder as of July 26, 24. That's what the Otis website is showing.
Of this case, because of this case, that's why I got absconded. I didn't have to report to the 5th. I'm getting off parole next month. I'm gonna get off parole next month, dude. The only reason why I haven't absconded is because of this. That's it. I didn't do anything wrong.
Mr. Dandron, I'm going to give you a chance to talk to your attorney after Miss Douglas talk, and you can tell him anything that you want to tell him before we conclude.
I'm just taking
But I would
back,
strongly listen, Mr. Dandron, listen to me for a moment. I would strongly suggest that you not say anything in court because anything you say can be used against you. I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm trying to, help you out right now. So just be cool.
All right.
All right, continue, Ms. Douglas.
Your Honor, Mr. Dandrin has an extensive history as a 2022. It includes a 2022 felon in possession CCW case, a 2020 bringing contraband into prison and obstruction of justice case, 2006 home invasion first degree, 2003 attempt home invasion second degree. And he actually had a 2021 felony case for tampering with electronic monitoring device. And that's why I think that a teller by itself will not be sufficient. That was 40th Circuit Court, Lapeer County, case number 21-013940-FH, Your Honor. So with a conviction for felony tampering with electronic device, I think this is a situation where a teller by itself is not sufficient. We do have concerns for safety of the complaining witness who suffered deep lacerations to his chest, head, face, and hands and had to get hospital treatment. Mr. Dandrin, according to the report, admitted that he owns a machete, and there was a machete found in the basement with human hair and blood on it. So, Your Honor, we do have concerns here for safety, given the extensive history, given that Mr. Dandrin has a recent conviction for tampering with an electronic monitoring device. We don't think this is a situation where a lower bond than the teller is going to suffice. We're asking for 100,000 cash or surety, given the allegations here.
So,
All
Judge,
right, do you want the breakout room? Do you want the breakout room first, Mr. Reagan, or do you want to argue first?
I was just going to say, Judge, just based, I don't think that based on people's, who have prior convictions.
So you want to argue twice?
Yeah, I want to argue 10 times if I could, but I'll go to breakout room.
Talk to this guy first, please.
Okay, yes, sir.
And I'm sorry, I don't mean to call you guy, Mr. Dandrin, excuse me.
It's okay. Can I talk to him now?
One second.
I'm putting you in the room, sir. Just be patient.
Back onto the court part. There we go. Yeah, there we go.
All right, Mr. Dandrin, Mr. Reagan. Mr. Reagan, is anything else you wish to say?
Judge, I just was getting some more information about the witnesses. I think there's a young lady that's mentioned in the report that's going to be a witness, Mr. Dandrin. She said she was there. She saw what happened, how the complaint came at my client with the knife. There was a struggle. My client, was never the aggressor, Judge. But again, I just, my opinion, because he's an absconder, because he has priors, that, that's why to me he gets charged. But, obviously it's got to play itself out in court. It's just, it has to. It's one of those situations. Mr. Dandrin's going to tell his side, complainant's going to say what he says, and the trial fact will decide. I just think that right now, Your Honor, I just kind of getting a whole bigger picture. And I wasn't there, obviously. I wasn't personally there, but I just, see different things here that Mr. Dandrin has positive for him in terms of a defense.
Okay, this is where I'm at. I see that the charge is charge of the A1, but I don't believe that there's an inherent danger to the community within the facts of the case in itself. However, I do have concerns about Mr. Dandrin's parole status, as well as the conviction for tampering with the tether. I think this is a totally different circumstance without those two situations. Here I have a person 3 years ago, allegedly violated the tether, and I'm supposed to use that as a means to make sure that he comes back to court, which I cannot do. Cash bond is necessary in this case. I'm going to amend this to 50,000, 10%. But I am going to require GPS tether house arrest, even though I don't know what good that's going to do. Yes, sir, Mr. Dandrin.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. Your Honor. I just wanted to let you know, regardless if I bond or not, if I get a PR bond, even I got to go to MDOC because this is the violation. I didn't abscond parole. They gave me an abscond status because of this charge. I was getting off parole next month.
So Mr. Dandrin,
if I bond out, I'm going to prison
Mr. Dandrin, you keep talking over me, and I have to say something. And I've been pretty nice to you about this.
Yes, sir.
I've acknowledged when you were placed on the absconding status, and it's consistent with what I'm reading. So I'm past that part.
Okay.
These cases are going to play out the way that they are. I would know from the investigator's report that nobody involved in this matter has identified who that mystery witness is. And I'm going to leave it at that. $50,000, 10%. Sir, your next date is going to be before Judge Jefferson, August 12th, 2024. And that concludes the hearing.
Good.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge,
Can I talk to my
thank you, Judge.
Mr. Dandrin, your next date is going to be a probable cause conference. You're going to have a different lawyer. Mr. Reagan was here for this hearing only. So that concludes this hearing, and your new attorney is going to contact you shortly.